What are Mike's thoughts on Clavicular? Well, we're about to find out, considering he's possibly his long-lost son, as they're thinking exactly alike, and both of them are most likely gay. Well, let's get right into it. 6, 7 months, 6, 7 months, 6, 7.
This is a brain rot special.
Tiamatich cooking in the basement.
Steroids are like a rusty sledgehammer on a tire equivalent of a machine, where you're like, ugh.
And so, yes, steroids can work. They can easily add on more muscle. But remember, it can bloat your face, you can get acne, you can lose your hair, side effects, take years off your life, you end up looking like Mike Israetel. I mean, it couldn't really get any worse. Mike says, why not just take creatine? How about do a solid? You can take creatine and Turk Builder Max or Turk Platinum. Better than creatine by a lot. And so if you haven't tried it yet, actual Testosterone from Ajuga Turkistanica, which is proven, unlike all the lying, scamming companies out there, not Coach Greg, the other ones, you perhaps don't know this, they're lying to you. I have chain of custody proof, and so you're not going to see Coach Greg lose in a lawsuit. And so bring it to me. If you're interested in trying it, there's a money back guarantee, and I've upped it to a $50 gift card, and so you have no excuse not to try it. If you don't think that it works, try it. And if it doesn't work, you get your money back and a $50 freaking gift card. And so get out there and order it if you haven't tried it yet. And remember, my main competition, the Turk Plex from Derek Gorilla Mine, it's not being sold anymore. Why do you think that is? Do you think it's maybe because it wasn't Ajuga Turkistanica all along? Do you think it's maybe because they had lied? Or what else could it be? Why would a company stop selling a #1 selling product? Ajuga Turkistanica, I sell more of this than every supplement I'm selling combined. And so if you think it doesn't work, why do tens of thousands of people keep buying it? I rest my case. Code Greg, 15%.
It does a couple of cool things on the margins, but nothing super magical. If TRT really blows you up, then you were hypogonadal or close, and then you really were a good candidate for TRT.
Mike is saying that if you're on TRT, it's not really going to help you very much, but Mike is talking about actual TRT, like real TRT, to only get you to normal levels. If you already have normal levels of testosterone, you go on HRT, and you still have normal levels of testosterone, it's not going to make that big a difference. Yeah, if you're partying all the time and you're not sleeping, it'll keep your testosterone levels where they should be, but it's not going to make that big of a difference. However, most people are on super physiological levels of testosterone. Their TRT is TRT plus, TRT sport, if you will. I'm on 140 milligrams, and for most people, that is a lot. Anything past 100 milligrams is likely more than you need. My testosterone, it usually comes back into very high normal, and I'm 50. I most certainly am benefiting from TRT, but many other people, they're on 200, 250 milligrams of testosterone a week and a host of other products. I am not doing that. Of course, I am on TRT, 140 milligrams, as well as Turk Builder Max or Turk Platinum. Guys, it works. TRT works. But if you're on normal levels of TRT, you're not going to put on 10 or 15 pounds of muscle. If you're on abusive doses of TRT, of course it can add on more muscle. Remember, you may not need TRT. You might only need enclomiphene. If you want these things, of course, Algo RX, code Greg, 10% off. Click the link.
If you're a gay boy and you want to nail more dudes.
If you're a gay boy and want to bang more dudes. All right, Mike, we know he came out several months ago. He said he was gay. If you want to bang more dudes, you can go to the gym.
It'll turn a straight man almost gay.
I'm gay.
What's up, guys? This is Derek.
Thank you, Greg.
And gay culture actually is super straightforward.
Isn't it ironic that he said that the gay culture is more straightforward? But I digress. I just said grass.
And you think, there's no way that guy's gonna be into me. I need like rounded shoulders of Miss Bikini Olympia to even stand a chance. Like, that's not true.
And so this is the beauty of the gym. You don't need steroids to make improvements. If you're ranked as perhaps a 2 out of 10, maybe a 3, your gym physique is way below average. All you need to do is go to the gym and work out natural, lose some weight, get leaner, and you're probably going to be in the top 20 or 30%. You can go from the bottom quarter to the top quarter within a couple of years just by working out, even with shitty genetics. All you need to do is get lean, put on a little bit of muscle. You don't need to look like a bodybuilder, and oftentimes women say we don't like the bodybuilders. We like the dad bod. Well, the dad bod sometimes is Chris Bumstead in the off season, but for the most part, you don't need to be a bodybuilder in order to attract the girls. But what you do need is to be the best version of yourself, and you can do that. You do your cardio, you put the fork down, you do better. If you need help, you're too hungry and you can't do it, of course, GLP Max, it's gonna reduce your hunger by approximately 28%, go from an 8 out of 10 hunger to a 6, and now you can control your cravings. It's the little things, guys. Consistency. It really isn't that hard. And essentially, please know this. Women, men, they don't need perfection. They don't need a 9 out of 10. Everyone has a certain minimal level of attraction. And if you can reach that point, everything on top of that, it's just gravy. It's icing on the cake. And so if this is the minimum and you're here and you go to the gym for a couple of years, you get to 15% body fat, you're most likely going to be at that minimum for most people. And so please, just the average person is obese. All you have to do to be above average looking is not be fat. Is it really that hard? Well, if it isn't, add in some harder than last time. You know what it's for. Once you get to that minimum level of attraction, you'll be able to find out what to do with it. Code Greg, 15% off.
So like you right now, I can confidently tell you with all of my expertise, could get it out of 10 for almost all girls.
And so Mike, with all his expertise, you know, in his rating of men, he knows that Jack right now can get at least 9 out of 10 girls. Because Mike is an expert on the male body. I suppose it's possible, considering he'd admitted he was...
Why are you gay?
What's up, guys?
He basically just kind of is like, He basically just... I don't care about health. I just want to look as good as humanly possible.
Do you think that approach is taking it too far? Would you have any counter advice to someone like him?
And so what advice would Mike give to Clavicular? I mean, Coach Greg has given him advice. Don't get the limb lengthening surgery. Don't bone max. And so here we have my absolute favorite dinosaur, the Turkosaurus Rex. And you can tell that it consumes at least six, seven Turk Platinums a day.
So how could you possibly know that based on what you're looking at?
Well, clearly based on the bone. Don't smash your face, don't get the titanium implants, and go to the gym while giving up sniffing creatine and doing math. Let's start with that. And while you're at it, let's lower that dose of retatrutide, and let's stop abusing peptides, and let's not tell teenagers to abuse drugs. What will Mr. Mike's opinion be?
I probably wouldn't take the approach of telling him like what he's doing is wrong.
I mean, why tell him that what he's doing is wrong? And so he wouldn't do that. And so don't tell him what he's doing is wrong. He's making sense. Everything he's doing is justified. Why do you think Mike would say that? Is he not projecting his own insecurities and thinking, well, if I were clavicular, I would be doing the same thing? I wish I had started younger. Why did I wait until I was in my 40s to get all of these surgeries?
Saying that you don't care about your health is kind of it's a dope vibe for a young person. You know, it's kind of a little bit of a flex because you're like kind of demonstrating virility by just saying that.
Mike, you are the same. You don't care about your health. How could you? Going through risky surgeries, very risky, as well as abusing performance-enhancing drugs. You don't care about your health. You've stated prior to this that you don't care yourself. And so I don't think Mike is a good person to give his opinion on clavicular.
I mean, if you're not healthy, you can forget about sports, you can forget about looking good. Like if you're really good looking, but a woman can tell that you have terminal cancer, she's not gonna be like, let's go party.
So Mike, why don't you take your own advice? Why are you doing all these things? Are you gonna tell me you're not injecting steroids? That you're not abusing your body, that you may one day, and it might be sooner than you think, be laying in that hospital bed wondering, why did I do all this? And you'll be thinking, how many millions of dollars can I give to rewind time, rewind the clock, and do as Coach Greg was saying?
Now, if you're not doing any crazy trade-offs to health, or if you are doing some trade-offs to health, but they're like measured trade-offs.
Mike, he was doing math and sniffing creatine. He's on 15 milligrams of Retta, and he's been using steroids since the age of 14. He smashes his bones on his face. Perhaps he's going to get a CTE. He's going to get titanium implants on his face and extend his jaw outwards. Is there anything you need to know?
Also ask yourself, are there any ways to achieve things that are not like going to require tons of reconstructive surgery?
Yeah, like he could actually go to the gym. Clavicular could get off the test, stop abusing recreational drugs, and just train like a normal human being and get better results than he's getting right now. Enough said.
I've seen some people get
plastic surgery where they could have just like gone to the gym for a year and saved like $50,000 and gotten way better health.
Correct me if I'm wrong, or did Mike just literally say the exact opposite of what he would do? Hey,
why would you get $50,000 of surgeries when you can just go to the gym, correct all that?
did Mike not just get cosmetic surgery to suck out all his fat cells? Could you not have lost the fat cells by doing cardio or continue to go on a diet? Mike literally is saying don't do the exact things that he has done.
Going to the gym and eating well and organizing your life in a productive way can like actually set you up really well.
And so rather than having cereal and Gatorade on a diet and not dieting long enough, try dieting another month. Try getting down to 198 pounds and competing as a light heavy. You're a 5'5.5" manlet. You're even shorter than Coach Greg. Why not get down into the appropriate category and see if you can win a pro card in that?
No amount of studying really well and eating good clean foods is going to reconstruct your face to be more attractive. Surgery will do that for sure.
No, it's not going to reconstruct your face, but when you're fat and you can't see the bones on your face...
Those arms, how could he possibly take a pill caps? How could he pop those terpenoids out of the...
Oh, it's 6 or 7 boxes a day.
But if you go on a diet, calorie deficit, you'll eventually lose the fat and see what your face was meant to look like.
But if you're over 18, it's like legal to get plastic surgery, I suppose. I'd say just make sure you really know what you want.
How does a 19-year-old really know what they want? See, there lies the problem. Mike's saying, well, as long as you really know what you want, go ahead, you're over 18. When you're that young, you don't really know what you want. We've got kids, 13, they're getting gender-affirming care. How do they really know what they want? They know and want what they've been told, what they've been brainwashed with from their parents, from social media, cartoons, the rest of it. And so Clavicular, he might think he knows what he wants, but he only wants what he's been brainwashed to believe from watching various social media influencers and going on Reddit. Do you not think Reddit has brainwashed him to think, oh, you should hop on testosterone. You're 14. You need a bigger downstairs. This is from the brain rot from social media as well as Reddit forums telling men that they're not good enough.
6 inches of height puts you in a different category of height. It puts you in a different type of interaction people have with you. Could be worth it. It is very expensive. The recovery is measured in years instead of months.
It's not worth it. As a 5'6" manlet, I don't need to add 6 inches to my height and become 6'1" to be a man. To go through years of recovery, to reduce my ability to walk. Being taller and walking with a limp or walking with crutches, it's not a flex. Being shorter and being able to move and being normal, that's a bigger flex than simply being tall.
If it's on vibes, hey, vibe it up, man. You want to be 6'6" and you have accepted the risks? My man.
In my opinion, it's not based on the vibes.
No, there's no need.
How could you possibly know that?
Well, based on the bones.
My man. He has a psychological illness, and we should try to convince him that that is not the way. If somebody wants to stop eating 400 or 500 calories a day, and they're 67 pounds, should we go up to them and say, hey, fist pound, vibing, my man, great job not eating and starving yourself? Or should we say, can we get you some help? You have an issue, you have a problem, you're suffering from body dysmorphia. Which makes more sense?
Stop it. Get some help.
To enable the person with the mental disorder or to try to get them some help.
And you can't like really be your free self. You don't want to own it. You're like, oh, it's okay that it's a stain. Like, I know, but it's a stain. You're just really cool with it. It's not a big deal. It's just a stain suit after all. Like, it's love handles. Who gives a shit? Totally, for sure.
And so in Mike's analogy, here's the problem. Mike has since that time lost the weight. He's been dieting. Mike is shredded. Prior to that, he was not. And so he's saying, hey, I was walking around with a suit that was sane. And so rather than going to the seamstress and redoing all the fabric, cutting the stain out, sewing it back, why didn't he just spray some Tide on it and put it in the wash? There are easier ways. Mike went through a horrendous, risky, and expensive surgery when he could have just washed the suit and hung it out to dry. The simplest way, most likely, makes the most sense. And so why go through all these surgeries when you can improve your body by simply putting the fork down and doing some exercise?
Months later, especially now, I'm like 6 months after my 7 months after my 7 months after my surgery.
Almost every coach, maybe every coach.
6, 7 months, 6, 7 months, 6, 7.
Like, if you gave me a really expensive watch, I would rather not have it, because it's an extra liability I have to take care of. I have no idea where to put it. Do you put that in your apartment?
You would wear it on your wrist. It's kind of like this bracelet that says STEMIs, you know? You just wear it on your wrist. This is what you would do with a watch. It's not that deep. Period. By the way, it's period with a T, in case you're wondering. It's like being thick with 3 C's.
So for me, my physique is kind of my watch collection in a sense. It's a very ugly watch collection. It's my kind of ugly. And so now that the love handles are gone, dude, I fuck with it hard. I love it. It's great.
The hedonic treadmill. This is what immediately comes to mind. If you've been chasing a certain look for so long and then you get that look, you're not going to be happy with that look. For that moment, for that minute, maybe. Like when your goal is to win a bodybuilding competition, your life's work, I want to get a pro card. This is what Mike wants. Let's say by some miracle that no one else shows up and he wins the pro card, he has the proper 10. Do you think he's now happy? Momentarily, for that day, he's happy. Yes. And then the next day, he's going to say, now what? What next? He's then going to start adding in more calories. His body fat level is going to go up. He goes off steroids and he loses all that of muscle. The next day, he goes off steroids, gains back body fat, loses the muscle, and then looks in the mirror and says, I don't like this. And then he needs another surgery. Remember that podcast I did with Jack? Mentioned limb lengthening surgery? I need that. And so then Mike, for the next 3 years, he becomes 6 feet tall. Mike is now 6 foot and miserable. He's relearning to walk. He's rotting on crutches. And he says, once I get to be 6 feet tall, then I'll be happy. He gets to 6 feet tall. Now what? Then he sees his face begin to sag. He needs a blepharoplasty. He's cutting out his eyelids. Where does it end? Well, with Mike, it will end as him being a robot. He's already stated, hey, why wouldn't you just cut off your arm and get a robot arm if it's working better? And so Mike will never be happy until he marries his dream girl, ChatGPT 6. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm. Please like the video if you liked it. Don't forget to watch one of the bloops. Don't forget about the cookbook as well as the Seco protein bars. Who wouldn't want a Kaiko bar in the mouth? 230 calories. 21 grams of protein. If you enter code SECO, you get it for half price. If you're interested in carrying all of the supplements at any of your stores and or gyms, you can apply by clicking right there. And remember, we're looking to sponsor ambassadors, athletes. If you're interested, please click and apply. No matter how big or how small, please apply right now. And until next time, I am out.